Hello again, everybody. Welcome back in this DC Third Legion video. We're going to be focusing on the training simulator. Why is this piece of content so integral to your account? Well, there are going to be two things that you're going to be getting out of this as you advance to each one of the stages, and that is the simulators. These are going to be the resources that you are going to need to level up your heroes, to get them all synced, to bring them all about, right? And then once you put everybody else in the level sync, they catch up, and you're going to be able to then build your roster accordingly. So that is why you want to be pushing this as much as you can. And then the more levels that you complete, you're going to be acquiring more XP. Okay, so right now I am at level is 1446, which is not bad. But yeah, this one was one that I was having a hard time with because I was not having enough durability. I think that now that I have leveled a lot of my heroes, because there have been several day 4s that I have gone through, tried to boost the level of some of these heroes, increase my legacy PC. We'll give it a run and see if I can try to conquer this this time. But this is where I was stuck with these Robins coming after me. So I think if I do remember correctly, if this gets stopped off, I'm looking at a million plus for experience, which then I can then use to level up my heroes and then you know, get them closer to the next level as it stands right now. So besides that, one of the things that you're going to get as you approach each one of the targets that you see here are all these valuable resources that you're going to be able to get into your account. So if I can reach here to 1415, I can get these fire pit afterburners, where they're going to be integral to get my jet level, make them more powerful, especially when it comes to guardian challenges and the Krypton rush, right? We want to make those very strong. So you can see here we can get poison ivy shards as you get to 50. Very good hero to get into your account, so I wouldn't neglect that. Lex Luthor shards, yes, you want them, especially if you're going to be investing in the Legion of Doom. He does complement that composition very well, especially if you get Sinestro and you get Deathstroke into your account. Quantums are always good to upgrade your jets. You can kind of get a feeling of how essential all these resources are going to be every time then that you clear each one of these levels. And then, of course, if you want to see how you're faring against everybody else in the server, so you can get a general idea as to where you stack up. So here, as you can see, I'm right now ranked 21. So I'm going to try to see how much more I can push, if I can push at all. But the nice thing here also, okay, so early on, you're just going to go with the heroes that you have. You're going to try to clear as much of this as you can. And, you know, if you're well, you get lucky, you start investing into some of those heroes. Yeah, you can see here, very standard compositions early on as to how you're going to be able to clear all this stuff. So let me push all the way to the top, right? Because this is kind of what we want to get an idea of what type of units we are going to need to try to clear this particular level. So as you can see here, some of my counterparts here are already getting into the 1500 ranges, and you can kind of see how stacked these accounts are, or how much firepower you're going to need to pass into each one of these levels here. So that kind of then gives me an idea of what I'll have to look forward to if I do try to push even further into that. As you can see here, I have 12 simulator quotas available to me. For this particular piece of content in the game, you're going to make sure that you have these stacked up. Every time that you start a run, it consumes it. All right. So even if you back out, you're going to consume it. So for this level that I'm going to try to go after, I technically have 12 chances to clear it. If I fail in all 12 of them, then what's going to happen is that I go on to cooldown, and I have to wait for all of these to get restocked again before I can try. I think it's 1 hour. 1 hour before I get one of these back. So then you just let it go for 12 hours. You can get the whole thing restock. Now, what's nice about this is that every 10 levels, so as you can see here, I'm 6 out of 10. So at every 10 level, you get 10 back. So then you can keep going. So if you are pushing and you're progressing and you're making it faster, bam, you can keep going and you go as far as you can, and eventually you'll hit that wall, right? And then you'll have to go back and try to readjust. Or if you run out of quotas, you just have to wait until the next day, or wait until you level up your heroes again, or you make one of your legacy pieces a whole lot better. All right. So before I try to do a run here with this particular stage that I was stuck in, I want to see if I can pull back an old video that I published previously. Okay, so for those of you that do not know, we're right now at August 23 of 2025. About a month ago, they readjusted the training simulator. So I think 743 might be a lot easier. But at that time, this one was a little bit tougher. And as you can see, there were 5 Batmans that we had to deal with. Of course, what Batman does is it hits the back line. And so all 5 are going to be targeting the back line here. So in all the swaps that I was doing, I was trying to see, what do I have on my roster? What does each one of these heroes do? And what can I get out of them? So at that time, Joker was one of the heroes that I had that was doing the most damage. Then I decided I'm going to bring in Superman. And what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to, in addition, Joker helping me out with the AoE damage over time, I was going to try to use Superman to try to get each Batman out of the way as much as I could, by also protecting them with Fate. And Shazam here. And at the time, I had Shazam here at 5 white stars because I needed him to apply that taunt. And I think that that's what helped eventually for me to help that stage. So you kind of have to evaluate your roster, and you have to evaluate the kits of each one of these heroes and how you can use it to combat each one of these. So here, let me get to play here this battle, because then what you're going to see is how exactly it went. So of course, Poison Ivy is there for the heals. So you can see here that the whole idea here, okay, so Fate is trying to stomach as much of the damage here. He did go down early. He did allow a little bit of distraction. I'm using Shazam to try to lock things up. And then now I'm just letting Superman, hopefully getting healed, try to chop each one of these Batmans down, right? So that's what I'm trying to get. Just hopefully Superman can cycle his ultimate as much as he can, and everybody's falling out. But eventually what happened is that it did happen. It got chopped down. And that's how you sometimes have to encounter some of this stuff. And then of course here, this composition, or at least once I was able to lift that block, you can see that I was then able to push all the way up to 795. And that's why I decided to then just go ahead and publish the rest of the video and just let it roll out, because you can kind of see how that composition played out. And then just some minor swaps here and there. But the next wall that I had, it was 50 levels after. So that's kind of the general idea that I can give you here. And then something like this, you know, I also did here 897 with these 5 Supermans. Well, at that time, right, it was a little bit tougher, but the idea was the same thing. So at that time I had a legendary Wonder Woman, and I used Shazam again just to try to lock him down, try to distract him. And then here, as you can see in the back line, I have all these other heroes that at least now I had at that time. But at that time also I decided, okay, so what I'm going to do is that now that I have these heroes available to me, I'm going to try to then chop it down. So so I guess in this situation here, I decided I'm going to chop it down with Superman, try to see if I can stomach things with Shazam. So you can see how they're all congregating towards Shazam and Superman here. And then Sinestro here in the back is just trying to individually single target each one of them. And eventually I get locked in. I only have one of them, so Superman goes for the higher attack, and then there you go, Sinestro finished it off. So these are kind of the idea. So it was like a hodgepodge, right? It's just trying to find that right combination to finally bring these units down. And then that's exactly how then I conquered that stage, because I noticed how the Supermans were congregating to one particular target. So if I could get somebody like Shazam to distract them enough for me, and then have my Superman chopping down, and at the same time Sinestro coming in and try to get them individually down at the same time, perfect. And that was all even before Constantine came into the game. So that's how I approached that. Now for this particular stage of my account, now I have developed the Justice League Dark composition enough that that's what I primarily use for it. Okay, so you can see here that it looks like this is the last roster that I was trying to use to battle this. So just as a refresher, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring my Justice League Dark composition. It has changed a lot since I probably tried this. So I have taken a break from this. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and let this composition run and see how it behaves. That's exactly what I want to see. Was it that they were having a hard time surviving, or was it that I was just too much healing from Hal Jordan? Or was it that the assassins were getting to my Constantine and chopping him down? So it looks like, at least for this reason here, that I have elevated my account enough now that I'm clearing it. Okay, so that's what happened. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this play out, and then when I hit a wall, I'll come in, and then we'll see if we can try to dissect it where this Justice League Dark composition cannot make it, and then we'll try to readjust and see if we can beat where they hit a wall. All right, perfect spot. So here we are at the level 10. So we didn't make it too far. But here's the thing that I was asked. So we have 5 Captain Colds. That's kind of the mean part about the training simulator sometimes, is that sometimes you're going to get a 5 of one particular unit. The most stubborn ones have been Deathstrokes, and I've also seen Nightwings, and those are a pain in the butt. And unfortunately, those are the type of stages where if you don't have the right hero, you're going to get stuck in, or you don't have the right star levels, you're going to get stuck in. And that's exactly how they laid this out. So here we have the 5 Captain Cold. So let me see if there is some RNG at play here. I'm gonna swap this out. I should have checked to see which legacy pieces each one of these heroes has, but I just want to see this again, because I do think that if Constantine falls again, there is no other firepower in here, right? So I think I might have to bring somebody else to do that for me, if in fact Constantine falls again here. Okay, so that's what happened in the first round. See, so they all target Constantine. Now he's done. And so now the rest of the composition here only have 30 seconds to deal with this. So if I stop the run now, I'm gonna lose the try. So I'm just gonna let it run. If it gets timed out again, it's fine. We'll come back and I'll reassess. So here we go. All right, so I did timeout. Perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go bring double firepower then. Let me see. Let's do, so just to get a general sense here, I'm going to try the soup family. Hopefully they're not too fragile. So let me switch that around and see with all this, the fact that Crypto can heal, and there's the boost the Supergirl gets from Superboy. And of course, then Superman can hopefully, get each one of these Captain Colds. So here we go. Counterattack by Martian Manhunter. There's that big AoE damage. Something similar to what I was trying to get with Constantine. Okay, here we go. Crypto's healing. Okay, so we did lose our big AoE, our big single target damage dealer. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit more with Supergirl here. See if we can get one more ultimate now that she's closer to the Captain Colds. And okay, so that went better. So yeah, so I just needed a little bit more firepower on that one. So just Constantine not being able to survive doesn't get. And as you can see here, because it's a level 10, I get 10 more. So now I'm in a surplus in a sense. So it's just kind of, this is the type of idea. So, okay, so now we got 2 super girls and we got a bad girls on the back there. All right, let's see if they can contend with this. So I would consider my Superman family team to be like the second strongest team that I have in this account that I put together. Oh, there's Joker. So we're getting damage over time. So we got to get rid of him as quickly as we can or he's going to burst. There we go. We got him. And there we go. All right. So we got past one mini wall because I was able to rearrange and learn from what I saw previously, right? So it was Captain Cole. The Captain Cole just target all on constantly. They took it out. I did not have enough damage after that. So we couldn't, we got timed out. So I brought in somebody else, 2 other units that could do a little bit more damage, and they were able to bring them down, and we passed that wall. So here I already noticed Superman already went down, which is bad. So hopefully here Supergirl can take over and do enough damage. So yeah, so Black Adam can be really, really pesky. No question. Okay, so here we're going to need one more hit from Supergirl, and if she does not bring him down, we're cooked for. So we got to do it before Lantern charges up again. So yeah, so we're cooked. We're cooked here. So this combination here might have been a little bit too much for the Soup fam, especially with Superman going down too early. So let me play it out because we do still have Martian Man. So we timed out. All right, perfect. All right, so then I'm gonna go retry, and now I'm gonna bring back Justice League Dark. We do have that extra chances, right? So let's see what we can do. I want to see if they're all targeting Constantine here. Okay, so there was a swap between Fate and Raven. Okay, there we go. So for this particular stage, again, my Justice League Dark team was able to compensate for it. So it's just little things like that that you're going to have to, in terms of your roster, you're going to have to plug in and match, especially in the early game, okay? For the early game, bring in your Green Arrows, bring in Red Robin, you know, the heroes that you're getting, the heroes that the game is giving you. I cleared a lot of early stuff with Harley Quinn, with Poison Ivy, Superman because he was part of the bleed. Green Arrow was one that I was using to pick off stuff in the back line. Just little things like that. If you decide to go heavy for Deathstroke and Sinestro, and you're putting the Legion of Doom team together, you can bring in Lex Luthor, right? Just little things. And then there are going to be some situations where you're just going to have to mix and match to try to come back, try to find that right piece of synergy, or just to give you that extra time that you need for your AoE damage dealer to get one more ultimate off, or your single target hero like Superman, just to be able to give him enough time to chop things down. That is the stuff that you're going to have to consider when it comes to the training simulator, just so you can get past those obstacles. So one of the things that I'm going to be looking out for here as these runs continue is eventually I'm going to hit like a 4 Deathstroke, 5 Deathstroke type of deal. And then that's going to have to be, again, I'm going to have to then try to strategize. How am I going to deal with all these Deathstrokes getting their ultimates right away and picking off my unit that has the highest attack? Can I protect them with somebody like Fate? Can I bring in somebody that can chop him down? Can I stun him? Can I just buy that extra second that I need to bring him down? That's essentially what's going to come down to, okay? So I will leave you all there with that advice. Here, I'm going to watch this Nightwing run really closely, because we know that Nightwings can be very, very pesky. They'll could target Constantine and just take him out. And if that is the case, we're done for, right? So at least we were able to clear that. There is one here in the back. So I just got to keep an eye on him. So, all right, there. So 2 assassins were not bad. 5 can be problematic. All right. Thank you all very much for tuning and watching. I hope that helped you. In terms of trying to come up with strategies to beat the training simulator, wish you the best of luck. Try to push as much as you can, get those heroes leveled up, and get some resources while you're at it. See you all in the next video.